college All-Americans as well too. So we thought we would gear our direct our show towards NAIA schools, JUCO schools, Division two, Division three, and some small mid-major Division one schools to give people some shine and recognition. And along the way, we have some really epic conversations and meet a lot of great coaches and that are doing great things with their program. And so we were excited to hear about Wilberforce and everything that you got going on there.
Thank you. Looking forward to talking to you guys and excited for this.
Awesome. Let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, howdy and aloha. We are here, you are there, and you are now rocking with the best. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Airey Bros Radio. Tonight we're stepping back onto the cross country course and the oval with none other than Wilberforce University head cross country and track coach Dean Freitag. But before we get rolling, y'all know the drill. Hammer that like button. Make sure you are subscribed. Drop a comment. Every view, review, and share helps us grow and give back to the sports we love. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And as always, let's not forget while we're here, folks, we're here to shine a light on the programs, people, and stories we wish we had access to growing up. If you or someone you know is chasing their dreams in athletics, wrestling, cross country, track and field, or beyond, share this episode with them. Now, let's lace up our spikes and welcome Coach Dean Freitag. Some of Coach Freitag's highlights. He just recently hired in August of 2025 to restart the men's and women's cross country and track and field programs at Wilberforce and HBCU competing in the NAIA. He's a proven builder, former assistant at Shawnee State, helped launch their program and guide national qualifiers and All-Americans. His athletic background, he's a two-time NAIA race walking national champion, a five-time All-American, and once ranked in the top 10 in the world. And just recently, Wilberforce just had their first ever home meet on August 29th, where multiple teams came together to pray before the women's race, a snapshot of the community and the spirit he's building. Without further ado, it is an honor and a pleasure to have you with us this evening. We do greatly appreciate your time, Coach Freitag. Welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, it is an honor and a pleasure. We're excited to get to know you and have a chat and hear a little bit more about Wilberforce, the program, and a little bit about your journey as well.
Sounds good.
Coach, before we get too far into it, anything that you would like to plug or promote, share with the community, anywhere you want us to send recruits, anything you got going on social media, the floor is yours.
We have a cross country and track and field team Instagram at Wilberforce XCTF, or my personal Instagram I use for recruiting a lot too is just Freitag Dean, my last name and first and my first name.
Awesome. We'll put all that stuff in the show notes for you as well.
Thank you.
And one of the ways we like to start the show, Coach, we all have our origin stories, how we got into the sports that we love. We do have a little through line for you as well as a race walker. Our father was a race walker. He had some I guess under 20 age group records at the 50K. He also spent some time out at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. So race walking, although Jimmy and I have never done it competitively, we used to like to copy our father's form and technique on some of our family walks and those sorts of things. So race walking is something that's near and dear to our heart. With that being said, you're a race walker. What's your origin story to the sport? Did you start right out of the gate as a race walker? Were you a track and field cross country athlete? And from that, how did that lead you to coaching?
So out of high school, I was at cross country, track, and wrestling were my sports in high school. I ended up falling away from wrestling just because I knew track is where I was going to go with college. But originally, I went to college. My whole goal was to be a steeplechaser, actually, because my high school didn't have any hurdlers. So I hopped in hurdles and did distance. I just thought, okay, steeplechase is what I want to do. Go to college, and it was a blessing that I didn't know about at the time. I actually got injured, uh, had to slowly recover. Wasn't at where I needed to be to compete with our team at conference in like the 5K, steeple, anything like that. My coach asked me if I could do the race walk just to help get some points. And off of 2 weeks of practice, I hit the national standard and ended up going on to the national meet, getting 12th less than a month later. And I crossed the finish line at that conference race, and my coach walked up and said, "Yeah, this is your event now." And as he said, went on to win two national titles, multiple All-Americans, world rankings, and it just naturally flowed into coaching because I did grad assistant coaching at my university, the University of Rio Grande, under the man who mentored me, Bob Willie, and he is one of the men who kind of grew that interest in coaching just because of the impact he had on myself and all of our teammates, and me seeing that drew me to want to be able to have that impact and guide young athletes in their career as well.
Okay. So before we get too far into it, I am curious. I'm sure Jimmy's curious as well too. You were a runner, you got into race walking, that was your event, you had a lot of success. So when you're training, are you only walking? Did you still do some running? How does that all work? We've always been
Uh,
curious about that.
Sometimes it depends on the walker. I myself, I did majority of my miles running and walking because I still competed. Once I got back healthy, competed running. I was on our varsity cross country team. Came close to some national meets with our cross country team. Never quite got there, but was still able to run. Dropped my PRs. Wasn't anything flashy. I was a 27:30 8K runner, but still stayed with the first love of it. But just continued to build that background of walking as I grew.
And is that the kind of thing getting ready for nationals and track season? Are you doing walking intervals?
Yeah, so during track season, pretty much all my workouts are walking and my easy runs were running.
Okay, cool. Good to know, Jim.
Good to know. Yeah, Rich and I always Rich being a runner, and sometimes we get hurt. Say, hey man, just take up that race walk and just to take the family
The torch.
family
Yep,
torch and get into race walking. Now, being a
definitely.
coach, I know this is your first year at Wilberforce. Sorry. Um, are you always trying to recruit runners into race walking, or do you kind of see it
Uh,
as a specialized event?
a little bit of both. There's some people who I specifically would bring in to do race walk, but it's one of those I'm always keeping an eye out because sometimes you can just tell by looking at a runner, maybe their form just is like they're naturally taking a little shorter steps and it's something they can flow into easier. Uh, but it's one of those I kind of try to let it naturally happen. I don't try to force it upon anyone because I'm a firm believer no one's ever going to give their 100% if they're being forced to do it.
Another race walking question for you, because Rich and I are always scanning Instagram, scanning YouTube, and we're seeing people breaking records. And I'm always saying, both feet are off the ground. They're running. They're not race walking. They're running. Not one foot's on the ground. Do you see that a lot in competitive race walking, where people seem to be running more than race walking?
Yes and no. Everyone says that because it's just hard for the mind to comprehend that someone can walk that fast. But the rule is you have to have one foot on the ground to the human eye because everyone likes to slow down to 10% speed and they see a little crack come off the ground and say, well, see, he's off the ground. It's like, yeah, but the referees can't see it. But uh, from myself knowing how hard these athletes go, they're not coming off the ground on purpose. So if they do, it's because their body is going so fast that it's physically impossible to stay connected to the ground. But these elite level race walkers, they're walking low 6 minute pace, and you'd be amazed at how well they're able to stay on the ground or how close they can time their heel and their back toe to time to where it hits simultaneously and they switch.
So I know we're here to talk about the team, but Rich and I
Yeah.
have all the race walking questions for you, and so sorry for you to
Oh,
entertain a race walking
oh,
noob.
it's totally fine.
Question I have, because when I would always say to Rich, you should just take up race walk, he's like, man, those guys like that just looks like it hurts. That looks like it would beat your body up. Did you get more injuries race walking? How was it on your body?
I actually, up until after my college career, never really had any injuries after starting race walking. I had a few bumps and bruises here and there, but nothing actually any serious. Everyone says, "Oh, it's your hips or your knees are gonna get
Yeah.
hurt," and surprisingly, I mean, I ended up getting a knee injury after college, but I don't attribute that to race walking.
Okay. Okay.
I was going to say, how soon after that first conference meet did you start thinking about winning a national title?
So and naturally, I'm extremely competitive. I hate to lose because I actually came into college as a walk-on athlete. So I've always had that mentality of I have to earn everything I do. I'm always looking at the next person up because I was overlooked by a lot of people in high school. So I always had what's the next target? Once I hit a goal, it's okay, moving on to the next thing. And immediately, not gonna lie, I finished that race. I immediately started looking at the rankings. Who's number one? What do I got to do to get to that number one spot? And then once I got there, what do I got to do to keep it?
So, Dean, onto the team.
Yes, sir.
When did you get hired?
So I officially started coaching at Wilberforce on April 1st. We had a roster number of 0. I came in, I finished the indoor season at Shawnee State. Loved every second there. Had a great team, great head coach. I worked with Connor Flynn, and it was one of those, me and him and my athletic director. After I got the job offer, we were deciding whether I was going to go and start immediately or finish the full calendar year at Shawnee. And it was just one of those, we decided I would be doing myself an injustice in recruiting if I didn't go and give myself the best shot. And through a lot of tears and sad goodbyes, I left Shawnee and started building the team at Wilberforce.
And how has it been so far building the
It,
team?
it's been amazing. We brought in roughly 20 freshmen in this class, and I put out one of my first days on campus. I put out a message and mass email saying anyone who's interested in joining track, because we've never had a full real track team. Anyone that was interested to come out, and we had about 30 athletes who were on campus, who were still in shape, still worked out every day, but never had the opportunity to come out and join. So this year we'll be having a roster of roughly 50 to 55 kids from 0 in April.
And what's the cross country team numbers looking like right now?
I believe, I just looked earlier today, and I believe we're sitting at 16 kids.
All right. Nice.
So Wilberforce, you're in Ohio, correct?
Yes, about 20 minutes east of Dayton.
Okay. And it's HBCU?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you compete in the NAIA, but is there also like a HBCU sort of national
Yes,
championship?
there is. They're still working on an outdoor one. They have an HBCU indoor meet that they do in Louisville. They just started that last year. But we compete in the HBCU athletic conference in the NAIA. So our conference is all HBCUs. So even though we're in Ohio, we compete with schools from Tennessee, Texas, Alabama, Louisiana. This year for cross country, we'll be going to Decatur, Alabama for our cross country conference meet, and then Shreveport, Louisiana for our track and field conference meet.
Okay. Okay.
So it's fun for our kids because I I don't say this in a bad way of conferences. We don't see the same people over and over again. I tell our kids, when we go to the conference meet, this is the first time you're going to see every person there, and it kind of just keeps it lively. But at the same time, they know who they're going to be racing against because we follow along with the other teams.
You get some good travel out of it too, huh?
Yes, sir.
Dean, can you educate us and our audience on
Yeah.
what an HBCU college is?
Yes, sir. So HBCU stands for Historically Black College and University, which another cool fact is Wilberforce is the first private HBCU in the United States. It was founded in 1856, and it was founded during, excuse me for not knowing the exact term of it, but during segregation, slavery, as a place for when schools were segregated for Black men and women to go and still get a higher education. So back when it was founded, it was near almost 100% Black school. It was Black owned and founded. And now, as times have gone on, they still stand. They're very historical schools. We do a great job of continuing to show the history of where we came from to where we are now, because obviously going from 1850 to now, standing in the same place, there's a lot of history. It's been Martin Luther King himself has spoken and even taught a few classes on our campus, and our main academic building is named after him.
Now, when you're recruiting for Wilberforce, do you notice, is that a hindrance or is that a benefit when you're recruiting the kids?
For most of our kids, I found it's a more, I wouldn't say it's a hindrance or a benefit, but a lot of our team take a lot of pride in what the name they wear on their chest, because they know hundreds of thousands of people have walked where they have been, people who have held jobs and held positions of high authority, and gone from nothing and having to fight every single day, being oppressed, being told they can't do this or that because of the color of their skin. So our team takes a lot of pride in, from day one of our team coming together, because HBCUs, especially in the athletic world, don't really get the respect because everyone feels it is a small niche community, and it's not, because you don't see HBCUs typically. Say obviously, uh, there's a small majority of white athletes on campus at most HBCUs, and people just feel like that's holding everyone back. And our kids want to show we're just as good as everyone. We're just as fast. Just because we go to an HBCU doesn't mean we're less than everyone else. We can't compete with the big dogs.
What's the student population at Wilberforce?
We have roughly 900 students, I believe.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact number, but I know it's between 800 and 900 currently. And
Okay.
we actually just brought in our biggest class, one of the biggest classes in school history. I believe we brought in over 400 freshmen and transfers this year.
Okay. Okay. What kind of challenges have you faced or experienced as you've been restarting or starting the program?
Honestly, the first thing was just going from zero, getting kids, because nowadays no kid wants, whether it's HBCU or oh I don't say regular, primarily white university. No one wants to be the first to sign on to do something.
Yeah.
With how many cross country and track and field programs there are in the country and how many different options there are, everyone wants to go to what they know, what they've seen is already there. And that's why I feel really good about the team we had, because everyone that signed on knows that there's they're part of something, that they're setting the standard. I've told every kid coming in at a school that's been around since 1856, you don't get to be the first to do something very often here.
Right.
And they take a lot of pride in we're setting the standard. They want to be remembered 20, 30 years down the line of we helped build this. We set the tone of what kids generations after us are going to follow in.
Yeah.
And that,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
as I say, and that was just, once we got the first recruit, it was, the ball got rolling, because it was one of those, okay, someone else is willing to take a chance. I'm going to look into it. And then word of mouth carries, and we got some really good athletes. We got multiple state champion athletes, high school national qualifiers, conference champions who have transferred in. And like I said, once we got one or two, it just picked up, and out of nowhere we had 20 kids signed on.
Yeah. I mean, it is tough to sell, like, hey, we're going to be doing this. This is what the vision is.
Yeah,
You can be a part of the first, but there are some of those individuals that they see that and that potential, and they like that they have that mindset of I get to be the first. I was on a team that had never won a conference championship, and I was a part of the first two conference championships, and now the program has gone on to win, like, 30 plus conference championships, and seen national qualifiers, all Americans and stuff, but I still can hang my hat that I was the first conference on the first conference team that did that. So that could be a special sales pitch in and of itself.
definitely.
What was I going to say? With it being an HBCU, but being in Ohio, typically sometimes with the NAIA schools or even smaller schools, Division II, Division III, they have kind of a regional recruiting perspective. But as a HBCU, are you spreading the umbrella wider to like more of a national search because of that notoriety?
Uh, yeah, so it's so not even just because we're HBU, just because the world of track and field right now, it's very hard to build a team only from one area,
Sure.
especially being so close to Dayton. There's so many colleges. Central State University, which is another HBCU in Division Two, is literally right across the street from us. We have Cedarville University, 5 minutes up the road. You have Wright State University of Dayton. There's so many schools. If you're only going to recruit from a certain area, it's kind of one of those you're going to hit a ceiling real fast. but a majority of our team is from Ohio. We have some kids from California, Arkansas, Pennsylvania. We have a large portion from Detroit and Indianapolis. We have a good bit of kids from the city of Cleveland, which was a really good moment for me because I'm from Northeast Ohio. Cleveland holds a very close space in my heart. So bringing in a lot of athletes from my home area, schools I've competed with, talking to their coaches who saw me when I was a freshman in high school, and now I'm recruiting their athletes was a very cool moment.
What are your thoughts
But
on LeBron?
here I'm not the biggest fan, but not gonna lie that I wasn't cheering and jumping around when we won the championship in 2016.
Sure, sure. Well, one of our goals doing this, Jimmy and I are originally from New Jersey, and our goal as doing this show is we want to get New Jersey athletes to the coaches from all the schools that we talk with. So we're going to do our best to get the word out and hopefully get some New Jersey athletes on your roster. We have a very talented track and field state. So if you're out there in New Jersey and you're listening, make sure you take a look at Wilberforce.
Definitely.
Dean, what drew you to Wilberforce?
Honestly, it was the fact that we were starting something new, and not because I thought, oh, I can make this my own, but it was something told me, uh, I believe it was God pushing me on the path to just something told me I need to be here because leaving Shawnee was not an easy decision. We had built the program from 20 kids because we only had a cross country team when we arrived to I believe they're up to 80 kids this year. We were a nationally ranked program, had two top 15 finishes in the country back-to-back years. But something just kept telling me, you need to be here. You need to help start this. And from the moment I got the offer, I just knew it's where I had to be, the school. And from the moment I stepped on campus, everyone at this university has been more than welcoming, doing a great job helping and supporting. It's very rare at a cross country meet that you actually get a crowd of student athletes who aren't runners coming out and cheering. And as you can see in I think that speaks to in the picture I shared with you guys, the prayer before our women's race when we yesterday against well at our home meet on August 29th. We had a meet yesterday as well, so I got the dates mixed up. But on August 29th, all the athletes that were on campus came together and prayed together before a race and cheered on our athletes. They were running around the course yelling, and even some of them mid race would run up to me, "Hey, how does this work? Like wanting to learn about cross country just so they could better cheer on their athletes, asking, "Hey, who's this? Who's that?" And it's just something I've never seen before. The support a university has shown to a program, especially a new program.
Did you know that the other athletes were going to be at the meet?
I knew some were going to be. I didn't know the number was going to be as high as it was going to be. Because
Now,
naturally, we spread the word about it. We asked everyone to come, but you know how it is. Sometimes you can only ask so much, but sometimes people never come. And I'm in the zone. I'm getting my kids warmed up, getting everything ready to roll. Then all of a sudden, I see just 20, 30, 40 Wilberforce kids spread out throughout the race.
is the athletic department among the other coaches, is it pretty tight? Because usually you don't, even at high schools, you don't see things like that.
Our athletic department is one of the closest I've ever been part of. We have our own little coaches group chat that we're part of, and it's not even just talking about stuff like work. It's a very close knit family atmosphere. Just this summer, we got together and had a coaches barbecue just to get to know each other. We brought our families, our loved ones, and just building that culture because we know, especially at a small school, all need each other to survive.
So you said you helped build the program up at Shawnee. There was a cross country team, and then you built a track team up to 80 students. And you said there was something pushing you to Wilberforce, and that you knew that God was calling you to be there to build this program. Did you feel any pressure when maybe recruiting kids and you weren't getting kids to sign, or like you said, there were kids that didn't want to be that first one? Did you feel like you had a lot of pressure on you?
I did, but at the same time, I just kept having to trust that because I had a vision of what I wanted to build. But honestly, I thought it was going to take longer to get to where we are right now. I thought, okay, if I can bring in enough, my first goal was I knew, okay, it's April, cross country is the first sport up. I just need 5 guys and 5 girls. I wanted 10 athletes was my first goal to bring in. So as that was my what I launched after first, and I got a young man and woman. They actually both committed on the same day from 2 separate schools. Just coincidence that they both committed on the same day. It's like, okay, perfect. We got the first on both sides. Now I just need a few more and we'll be good. Well, out of nowhere, because the young man, they're both from city areas. They're both well-known athletes in their area. All of a sudden, our Instagram account just starts getting more follows, more people noticing because we post all the athletes that we get committed, and the ball just started rolling. And the pressure went from, okay, I just need enough to field a team to, okay, now we can start building something that's going to be competitive. At the same time, I've never turned an athlete away because their marks aren't good enough. I tell everyone, if you're willing to come in and work hard, show up every day, you got a spot on my team.
Talking about the vision, short term, what are we looking at? What are you thinking for the fall?
The goal is so in NAI to make nationals, you have to either win your conference meet or be ranked high enough to get an at large, or be top 4 on your team that doesn't make it, that's not the winning team. And right now, our team, they're not settling for anything less than winning. We finished the dual meet with Kentucky Christian just yesterday. And one of the first questions the team asked me is, okay, what did everyone else in our conference run? Where are we stacking up? What do we got to do? The culture of this team is they aren't expecting to lose. They are coming in with expectations of we don't care that we're a first year program. We want to win. They want to let everyone in the country know who Wilberforce University is. And I
Who
think we have a real shot.
who are the top competitors in the conference?
Dillard University out of New Orleans is always a tough team, great program, great coaching staff. They return a lot of good athletes. Wiley University out of Marshall, Texas is looking very strong this year. They have brought in a really great recruiting class. And then Talladega, Voorhees, and Tougaloo are also 3 that are not going to go down without a fight.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned, you felt the calling and God telling you that was Wilberforce was something that you needed to do. We know that there's a lot of faith-based institutions in the NAIA. Is that something that is tied with Wilberforce as well?
Yes, we are a religious campus.
Okay.
Is that part of academics at all? Is there chapel or anything like
Uh,
that?
yeah, we have a chapel every Thursday for the students.
Okay. 2 meets in the bag. How did it go? How did you think it went with the team?
It's going really well. We actually, after the first week, one of our freshmen, Sky, actually got Conference Runner of the Week, which was huge. And just seeing the support the campus had for him when they heard he got that, just because they're seeing one of their own winning. Uh, and automatically, the moment he got that award, everyone on campus knew who his name was. And seeing the look in his face when he was realizing, okay, all the miles, the early mornings, everything's not for just not for him. It's okay, people are taking notice, people are seeing this hard work paying off. We've had athletes, so we competed on Friday and then Tuesday. One of our athletes dropped a minute from Friday to Tuesday off his time, an athlete who had never run cross country before. So seeing the look on his face coming at the finish line, seeing the clock and realizing, oh, I'm running faster than I ever have before.
All right,
It's a very young team, so a lot of it's still they're shaking out those nerves. We have a lot of kids who I'd say 90% of our team is freshmen. So a lot of them this is the second time they've ever stepped on in a college race, so they're still trying to get used to that. In a week, we'll be traveling up to Cleveland to Lorraine Community College for our first travel meet, and that's the seeing the look in their eye after they finish this last race. The nerves are gone. Now they're ready to get to business.
being a young team in a program that you are starting from scratch and it's your baby. Do you have any team mottos or any metaphors or I'm sorry, mantras for the team?
So there's one that I've had at every school I've been at when I was in college, when I was coaching, grad assistant there, when I was at Shawnee State. My athletes heard me say this hundreds of times and it drove them crazy. And I've told this to my Wilberforce athletes, and it's going to sound crazy. It's embrace the suck. There's going to be early mornings, hot, rainy, cold, windy days. And it's the moments like that when you don't want to be there, when you don't want to do the last set, when you don't want to do one more rep in the weight room. That's going to be the difference builder. I tell everyone the days where you're working your butt off trying to get that last little bit, that 1 second left on a rep. Think about how many kids that you're going to be racing on that line didn't push that little bit farther, pulled up, took it easy on themselves because they were hurting. That's what's going to give them the mental edge, the physical edge to win when it matters most. And then also just the fact that this is a family. I've told them from day one, yes, we're a team, but they got to believe in each other. I'm not, it drives me crazy when teams have cliques. I don't allow that. I constantly am, even though it's cross country season, I have our cross country team come and practice with our track team. I want people to know each other. And it's already, kids are make, you can already see the team gelling together really well and gelling with other teams on campus, which has also been great because like the basketball team, they're seeing kids do stuff they've never done before. Our shot putter was amazing everyone the other day because he's taking a 16-pound ball and chucking it 40, 50 feet. And then everyone's going, how's he doing that? And there's like, can I see that real quick? I want to throw that, see how far they can throw it. But the one they're already driving crazy at me saying is, like I said, embracing the suck. It's not always going to be flashy. It's not what you see on Instagram or YouTube of all these like flow track workouts, the big flashy workouts, or everything's timed up perfectly. They're running the best workout of their life. It's the days when you're hurting are what make the champions, the little things.
Yeah, it's all about doing the simple things well.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes that's it's tough. Sometimes I coach cross country as well down here in South Carolina, and the kids are always like bringing in TikTok or Instagram and like, hey, can we do this? I'm like, well, we've got to do a couple other things before we can get to that. You're looking at a professional athlete, and we've got to work on some of the little things a little bit better before we can be making those things. And I'm gonna reintroduce embracing the suck to my kids because I think they need that some days down here in the heat and humidity in the afternoons after school.
Yeah. And one other thing that these kids have taken is, and it was one of those, I knew it was going to happen. Preseason rankings come out because last year, our cross country team, we had a cross country team. It was the men's and women's basketball team, and they did their best job. They went out there, they ran their hearts out. But obviously, if you're running against distance runners, you can only do so much if you haven't trained for it. So we got ranked towards the bottom of our conference. And I told our kids it's because they don't know what we have yet. They haven't seen us. They took it as disrespect. They're like, we're gonna go show the entire country they're wrong about us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. When is conference?
Conference for us will be October 16th.
Okay. All right. How many meets do you have before then?
We've had two. We have three more before then.
Okay. Okay.
Lorraine, yeah, we have three more. We'll be at Lorraine Community College, Cedarville, and Ohio Wesleyan.
Okay. Right on. Now, getting back to the school itself, we like to talk to the coaches and get a little more insight in terms of the academics and some of the internship programs and alumni connections, those sorts of things. Obviously, being the first HBCU, I'm sure there's a very large Rolodex of alumni connections. Is there anything unique or different at Wilberforce in terms of academic or majors that people should know about?
Major-wise, uh, I hate saying it like this. It's pretty much if you've seen one university academic-wise, you've seen them all. Yes, there's specific majors. We actually just introduced, I believe, three new engineering programs into the university. One of the biggest ones, though, is our music program. We have a nationally renowned band and choir, and we get to hear them every day. They were actually out practicing yesterday while we were running our cross-country meet. So we got a little bit of unintentional music, which was nice for the kids.
Nice.
But one of the biggest things I've noticed is just the connection of alumni that's not just here, but across the country. When we first started the team Instagram page, I started posting. I was having people and groups from all over the country message and talk about how excited they were to see this program. And talking about, we had a young man come from Pittsburgh. We have an alumni group in Pittsburgh who's like, hey, we'd love to see one of our own coming down there, and asking to get in contact with him so that if he needs anything in the future, whether it be internships or helping find a job, that they can help do that. Talking to alumni who are out in California and wanting, knowing kids who are interested in coming to run track and getting in contact with them. And not only that, just the HBCU culture in general. It's not just us, all of the HBCUs come together to support each other very well, which has also been very cool to see. Because yes, we compete against each other on the court, on the cross country course, the baseball field, but in the end, they all know we're looking to keep the same culture alive.
Dean, another thing we like to cover is the school's facilities, cross country trails. What do you guys have to run as far as cross country trails, indoor track, stuff like that? A track?
So cross country wise, it was actually another one of it was a very cool feeling when we had that meet because we actually didn't have a cross country course when I arrived. I was out doing a run one day after work and I was running around our athletic facility and I just started the cross country runner in me is like, oh, I wonder if I go back this way, how's it go? And found a loop that connected. I went to our athletic director and showed him my vision. We went out, walked it. We're walking through waist high grass, and I kept telling him like, I know it looks rough, but bear with me. This is my vision. This is what I imagine it being. And I got the green light from our president, from our AD to go out there and make our cross country course. And through a lot of man hours working with our maintenance staff, myself getting out there and just going over it hundreds of times, making sure everything was the way I what had envisioned it. Our course came together, and I personally I think it came out really well. We had a lot of athletes from our team, from other teams running lifetime bests on it. It's a nice loop course. It's a multiple loop course, so it's very spectator friendly as well. Track wise, we practice a lot at there's a local facility called Athletes in Action. We practice that a lot. It's a faith-based athletic organization that not only spreads the word of God, but also gets athletes together through sport to help bring that word. And we work out there a good bit. We also Central State, who's like a sister school to us. It used to be part of Wilberforce University, is also very giving and allowing us to use their facilities from time to time.
All right. One thing I don't want to brush over, you said the
Yeah.
basketball team ran cross country last year. How'd they talk
Yes.
those kids into that?
I think it was more of they were voluntold. They were running cross country.
Yeah.
Because
Voluntold. I love
my
that.
my first day on campus, one of the I was going to admissions, doing all the paperwork, doing what I need to do, and one of the kids in the office who was a student worker saw me and he goes, "Oh, hi, my name's so and so. I'm on their basketball team." And I introduced myself. I said, "Hello, I'm Coach Freitag. I'm the new cross country coach." Next word out of his mouth is, "We have a cross country team now. I don't have to do this again." He was more excited about that.
I would imagine so.
But the coaches, I love this. The basketball coaches have told them, hey, if they're late to practice, late to class, they're going to be voluntold they're running cross country again. And the cool thing is, our women's team, we actually have, I believe, 3 or 4 women's basketball players who they asked if they could continue running cross country because they know it's going to build their endurance. They want to get physically fit, and they just love the team camaraderie we have. They saw how close the team is, and they wanted to be part of that. And they were out there running yesterday, running a 5K when a month ago they didn't know we had a cross country team.
Well, we're big on the multi-sport athletes. Jimmy and I were both multi-sport athletes. We always talk to coaches about that sort of stuff, especially, there's a lot of potential in kids that are multi-sport athletes that, maybe haven't hit their peak in one particular sport, but you can see that potential in them. You, as mentioned, you did some wrestling as well. You were a multi-sport athlete, so I'm sure you've got your eye out for those sorts of things, some diamonds in the rough that haven't quite hit their stride because they're playing multiple sports, and you can get them single pointed focus in college and they're going to take off and blossom.
Definitely. We have a lot of kids like that. We have some who are sprinters. They were football focused, and just seeing from just a few months of just summer training because they've been training all summer, the strides they have made. our top distance boy right now. He was also just the best overall athlete on his team in high school. So during track, he ran 4x1, 4x2, would run the mile, and he dropped, I believe, 10 to 15 seconds off his lifetime best already in cross country. And he told me, this is insane. I've never been in this good a shape. I had to let him know, yeah, because you also never have focused on one event for more than 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
We are big goals guys over here at Airey Bros Radio. Do you have a 3 to 5 year plan for the team and yourself?
Yes, and the so the first goal is, and I got a lot of crazy looks when I walked on campus and said this. I want to win year one. I said I'm very competitive. I hate to lose. I want to start a dynasty, and the goal is in 3 to 5 years. I want conference to be one of those that's expected. Like, okay, yes, we respect every team in the conference. We know there's a lot of good athletes, but we want that to be okay. We're not peaking for conference anymore. I want our goal to be podium at nationals, all Americans. I already have kids were in my office today. Coach, what do we got to do to make nationals? The eventual goal is to hopefully build a program that can compete for a trophy at a national meet, if not try to win one. I
So,
remember I watched you guys' episode with Coach Souter, who I know Coach Souter pretty well, raced against him a lot. I love if I don't win a national title in 4 years, you can fire me. I love that quote, and it's one of those. I didn't say that, but in my own head, I'm thinking like, this is what I want to get to. I want to get to that level to be. If not, that's who we want to be. I want that schools like that to be our peers, not our targets.
Yeah. We love Coach Souter. Shout out to Coach Souter.
so you bring up Coach Souter, and
Yeah.
when we talked to Coach Souter, we talked a lot about training and what the training looks like. And we all know to get those championships, you got to put in the time and the training. What's your training look like? What did the team summer training look like? And what's it looking like right now?
So right now on the distance side, I actually just had a meeting with one of my 800 specialists. We're introducing double threshold training and explaining to him what it's going to look like, how we're breaking it down. This summer, especially for our sprinters, jumpers, throwers, was a lot of just building that base. I told him this: you can't win a national title in the summer, you can't win a conference title in the summer, but you can definitely lose one there.
Mm.
I needed them to get a good base of fitness, so when we get to campus, we can dive right into the hard work. We just started official practices this week. Still get some of the kids are a little out of shape, but it was expected because I didn't give them super hard workouts. I just needed them to be in a place where we could get building. So they're looking forward to that, and they're not loving the conditioning workout so far, but it's one of those. Just yesterday in practice, I used the phrase again: you got to embrace the suck. These aren't the big flashy workouts. These are doing more reps than you're used to, doing longer reps than you're used to, because we need to get you to this point. The fun stuff comes later down the line when we get closer to meets. Cross country wise, we're with our conference being so early, it's a little bit different. We're gonna, as we get closer to conference meet, decide we'll probably do a small peak to get ready to run our best race at the conference meet, and then again start peaking for the national championship. But again, with the distance runners, introducing. Right now, my boys are doing this. I'm still working on getting the girls' mileage high enough, but getting that double threshold training in to get them more mileage and more volume than they've ever had.
How are they liking the double threshold?
They're actually enjoying it more than I thought they would. Because I also, for some of the kids who are still newer to it, I like to incorporate biking doubles to keep the impact off their legs. Because a lot of these kids are coming from programs that I don't want to say were bad, but they were just not as high as they weren't nationally ranked programs, weren't renowned. The coaches, they're doing their best jobs, but kids who were underdeveloped or undertrained. So needing to slowly build them up to that. But they've actually been enjoying it because they see, again, YouTube's a crazy thing. They've seen the Jakob Ingebrigtsen, they've seen Northern Arizona, they know what it can do for them, so they've bought into it immediately.
That's awesome, getting that buy-in. Dean, as a new program and a new head coach. Are you a one-man show? Do you have some help, or are you covering all the events on track and doing cross country at the same time?
Uh, for right now, I do a lot on. I have a student assistant coach who he is getting ready to graduate, but he was a track athlete himself in high school and loves the sport. And he came up, he says, I know I'm not going to be able to get in shape to long term do what I want to do, but can I help out? Can I coach? Can I be your assistant and help take that pressure off of you? Uh, I have some student workers who have come in and just whether it's day to day, just helping around about the office. One of them actually is a cross country runner who she is doing her student hours with me and just helping get the little things done that would take 20, 30 more minutes if I was just by myself. And come track season, shout out to Coach Jasmine Coleman. She's actually our head volleyball coach. She's going to be helping out with our sprinters and jumpers. She was a sprinter in college as well.
Awesome.
So I'll have some help out there, and the all the coaches on our campus have been doing a great job of if we're busy working together. I've helped out with some of the strength and conditioning or helping get athletes conditioned for on other teams, and I know if I need to step away and need help, I can always reach out to any of the coaches like, hey, I got something going on today. Can X, Y, and Z come here and can you have them do this? That's another one of having that close knit athletic department. We all are here for each other if we need it.
We know as a head coach, there's a lot more to that position and that role than just the X's and O's of writing workouts or getting kids into double T's and that sort of stuff. Have you
Yeah.
found some things that you like in that head role a little bit more than others? Like, do you like doing expense reports? Because we hear that that's the bane of a lot of coaches' existences.
Yeah, doing paperwork, purchase requests, expense reports, probably my least favorite thing to do. But honestly, my favorite thing to do is recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whether I get an athlete or don't. I'm an extrovert. I love talking to people. I love getting to hear people's stories. So just getting to and the best feeling is obviously when you land a recruit. But just seeing even I've had recruits I ended up not getting. I see them at a meet. I'm still cheering for them. I want to see them do great things. But like I said, getting to hear people's stories because no one has the same story. Getting to meet parents, meeting these kids, meeting their siblings. One of our athletes on the team, and I tell these kids when they come in, I'm not just recruiting you. As I said, that I want this team to be a family. I tell them I'm recruiting your whole family. If once you sign on, it's not just you coming here. I want your family to feel comfortable to come around. I want them to know the rest of the team. I want that the rest of the team to know your family. One of our athletes, his little sister. Every time I see her, I give her a big high five and ask when she's going to come beat her big brother in a race.
Starting that legacy early.
Yes, sir.
You get you got a bell in the office every time you get a recruit. You ring the bell.
I don't, but that's a good idea, and I need to get one of those.
Yeah, yeah. I think I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was someone we had on the podcast, Jim, or someone that I just know in the coaching ranks. But I'm pretty sure they had a bell in the office that they would ring every time they got a recruit.
That's a really fun idea, and I might end up stealing that.
Yeah. Or at the very least, getting started, get one of those cowbells. Those are real popular at cross country and track races. You can just rattle one of those before you get one of those big ship bells hanging.
Oh, that's also a very good one.
Dean, you got hired in April. Has it seemed
Yes.
like a whirlwind since then?
Yeah, and actually just the other day when we were getting ready to start our first meet, I couldn't believe it was already August. I looked back, I was like, wait, I've been here 5, 6 months already. Where's the time gone?
I know you said you got a lot of help from other coaches and some of the students coming and helping. Does it feel overwhelming at times?
Sometimes say yeah, like if there's a problem I can't figure out, yes, I can get overwhelmed, but just the fact that everyone on this campus is so helpful, is so willing to drop what they're doing to help you, it kind of stops the overwhelming from happening. So I've been blessed to not have that really happen, other than a few moments where it's just me being stubborn and not asking for help, and it's like I can't figure this out. But I've been blessed to have a great group of people around me to help along the way.
It always helps having a good support
Yeah.
system.
Yeah, and having the system of as I mentioned earlier, Bob Lilly, my college coach. He's retired now, but he had 50 years of college coaching under his belt. Our assistant coach when I was in college, Coach Glenn Queen, he had I believe 30 or 40 years under his belt, and I talked to them weekly, if not every other week. Sometimes just whether it's to catch up and just see how they're doing, or coach, I got a question. What do you think of this? How would you do this? Whether it's training or the paperwork that nobody wants to do of how did you set this up? What was your system to make everything run as smoothly as possible? And along with my high school coaches, I talk to them all the time because I came from a very small town. Everyone knew each other. Everyone's real close. And having that support system I can go to if I have questions as well. Coach Ed Litterdale, rest in peace. Sad that he just passed away yesterday morning. He was a coach who had been in the business for 60 years. Talking to him, asking how have things changed, what was things like that? Because yes, everyone's training's advancing. There's always the new technology, everything. I'd like to look back and see because there was great athletes back in the day. I want to know what were they doing to make themselves great. So I'm not a one size fits all coach. I look at sprint training and I adjust it to make my distance runners better. I look at distance training and I make tweaks here and there to make my sprinters better, jumpers, throwers, everyone. I'm very much a nerd for the sport and I want to know if there's something that I can do to make my athletes better. I want to know what it is and how I can adjust it for my whole team, not just one or two kids.
Swiss Army knife approach. I like it.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Coach, is there anything about Wilberforce that we haven't covered that you want our audience to know?
The big thing is just if you come to Wilberforce University, and what they need to know, they're coming to a school that takes a lot of pride in their history and takes a lot of pride in you as a student. One of the coolest things I got to be part of, we have a ceremony called Rite of Passage for the freshmen every year. Because they use the phrase, because our colors are green and gold. So they say you show up green, you leave gold. And each day during their welcome week, they do go through ceremony, learning what's going to be like to be a college student, what's expected of them. Not only that, knowing what's expected of them as a Wilberforce student, having manners, coming to class on time, paying attention, following dress code. There isn't a specific one, but knowing, hey, don't come in sagging your pants, headphones on, show up ready to work, show up being respectful, but also just knowing there's, again, hundreds and thousands of people have come through the hallways where you're at, have walked where you walked, and they take a lot of pride in this, and they want you to take that pride too. And to end that, we have a water tower on our campus, and it's really cool. So when you graduate, you walk past it on your way out. You say goodbye to it on your way to the graduation ceremony. And when you start your rite of passage, you go the opposite way, and it's almost one of those, you're starting your journey onto the campus, and in 4 years, you end your journey where it started.
Rich, manners, rite of passage, and dress code. I'm in.
Yeah, sign me up.
And it was a very cool moment. It's not just this faculty. The faculty holds the students to a high standard. And it's just the little things, doing the little things right, holding the door for a fellow student, male or female, saying yes sir, no sir, being respectful. But sorry, my train of thought skipped it for a second. But also the students hold each other to that standard. We have a very good student council, student leaders, upperclassmen who they've gone through 4 years of, they've lived and breathed this. They take a lot of pride in that, and they're not afraid to call out each other in a respectful way, of course, not just screaming and yelling at each other. Making sure that what they've been through, what they've helped build, and what they've helped keep the standard for stays.
That's such a huge thing. That last point you touched on is that the upperclassmen are holding people accountable as well. I think that's such a huge thing for a program and for a school to have that culture where it's not always just coming from the adults, the professors, the teachers, the coaches, but when they get it from their peers in a respectful way, like you said. I think that speaks volumes, and it goes sometimes maybe goes even a little bit longer or further with the younger kids or athletes to get that
Yeah,
from their peers.
definitely. And seeing that, one of the best things has been seeing that from my freshmen so far on our team, because obviously with our team being so young, that was one of the big things I was afraid of is we don't have that upperclassmen leadership right now. But our freshmen have built that into each other, holding each other accountable because they all know they're here for the same purpose. And luckily, when we had kids on campus join, I had two athletes, my two captains, Saeed and Latiana. They, from day one, they stepped in and they have shown everything you want to see in your captain. They hold each other accountable, they hold their teammates accountable, and they built all the things I've said that I would want to build in a team. They started without asking. I sent out summer workouts. One of the first things into our team group chat, unprompted, was, "Hey, I live in this area. Who's here? Who can meet up? If you need a ride, I can come get you. Let's get a workout in together. So we're not doing this alone." That was something I didn't ask them to do. That they did it among themselves. Kids get in the group chat now at school start, hey, who's in this class? Let's start study groups. Let's start, we can tutor each other. Some kids who need to do workouts on their own, getting together, doing the work together. And this is, like I said, things that I'm not forcing upon them. They've built themselves, which I think means so much more that it's a culture that's athlete built, not coach forced. Because you just get that more genuine feeling of it. That they have a genuine love and care for each other.
Yeah, that's a great feeling as a coach when the kids are taking the initiative to do those sorts of things. It kind of
Yeah.
makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside that you're sit back and see that those little text messages or those group chats come through and they're like, all
Yeah.
right, they're getting it. They
And,
get it.
and it's a good feeling knowing if someone is slacking that I don't have to be like, oh, get on each other. I don't have to jump down people's throat. They hold each other to that accountable themselves. And also just the competitiveness they've seen, like I said, from day one, we're not here just to be here. We want to win. We want to show everyone because a lot of these kids have that mentality of we were overlooked too.
Mm.
We're not going to let anyone overlook us again. So seeing every time I see them in the weight room, on the track, or out on the course, they're pushing each other, they're competing. So I have a lot of kids who they were the top person on their team. They're not used to having someone that can push them to the same standard as them. We have four boys on the team who all can run 10-6 or faster in the 100. And every time I see them together, it's who can jump the highest, who can dunk a basketball the best, who can run the fastest. They're just pushing each other, but it's in a good mentality of they can push each other. Then the second they're done, they can shake hands and be like, okay, cool, we got the work in today.
Nice. I'm excited for
And
conference, Jim.
So am I. Coach, you got me stoked. I am super excited we had this chance to chat tonight and follow the team from the ground level.
definitely, it's like I said, I want to thank you guys for having me on.
Well, we're
It's
not
been
letting you go just yet. We got
oh
the final
oh yeah,
four.
definitely. I was just gonna say it's been great. Like I said, I felt like I was called to be here, and just every chance I have to speak, how much fun, how enjoyable it's been here at Wilberforce, and what the vision is. Like you said, whether it was the course, this team, it's my baby. I've helped start it from the ground up. It means a lot for me. I've told everyone, I've put sweat, tears, hours of my own life into this. Like I've been blessed. I have a great girlfriend she's very patient with me because I spend a lot, whether it's out at dinner, like we'll be having a conversation. I have to pause for a second because I'm responding to a recruit, responding to one of my athletes who have a question. Coming back late because I had a workout. Because I'm an athlete. I train with my kids. I'm never gonna tell a kid no if they want to get extra work in.
You're young, you can get away with those things still.
Definitely.
I jump in a workout, I'm up in an ice bath for 3 days.
The only one I've regretted is when I've tried to lift with one of my throwers because he warms up with my body weight.
Mm. Yeah, that'll
And
get you.
sitting there watching him throw weights on the bench. It's like, I don't know if I can even lift that off the rack.
I'll spot you.
Did
Yeah.
I squat that?
Final four, Rich.
Let's do it.
Coach, are you a coffee drinker?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you brew your coffee and how do you take it?
So I'm very basic. I'm horrible at brewing coffee, but I'm iced coffee all the way through. My go-to every day, I stop at Tim Hortons on the way to work. Mocha iced coffee with 2 creams and 2 sugar.
Nice.
All right. All right.
But
Good
for
Tim
some reason,
Hortons.
I can't stand hot coffee. I always have it iced, whether it's 20 degrees outside or it's 100 degrees outside.
Okay.
I have been on a cold brew kick for the past couple of years myself.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if you have any like Whole Foods or Sprouts by you, but I get the
Oh yeah.
Stumptown Nitro cold brew in the can, and I just for me it's a as much as I like the fancy hipster pour over and tasting all the notes, I just when I want my coffee, I just want it as fast as I can get it in my system because then I'm gonna be happy and the day's gonna go smooth.
Yeah.
So that's why I like the Nitro cold brew.
I'm very much, and I know some people say it's not real coffee. I'm very much, I like the very sweet, lot of flavor. Because for some reason, I like I said, black coffee, warm coffee. I'm not a huge fan of the taste, but I love the flavorings to it. I'm very big fan of like white mocha, cinnamon, with it being the fall. My go-to has been cinnamon apple at Tim Hortons.
Yeah, that is something I didn't know, Rich. I didn't know we had Tim Hortons in the States.
Oh yeah, it was big in the
Oh yeah,
Midwest.
All
oh, yeah,
right.
they're really growing. It used to only be in Canada, but now
Yeah.
it's spreading around.
Well, you get to nationals, you get together with Coach Satter, go get a vanilla cappuccino with him.
Definitely.
We'll make yours iced.
Yeah. And it's a very cool one with Coach Howard because competing at Rio, we're very close to the Cumberland. So I've been some of the athletes who are on his team or coaches I competed with in college. So I have a lot of connections and friends throughout that program.
Okay, awesome. Coach, do you have any daily practices or rituals you do on a daily basis to show up as the strongest version of Dean Freitag?
Honestly, mm, surprisingly, no. It's more race days I do, and my team thinks I'm crazy. Right before a race, I almost get into the same mindset I would as if I was competing. I'm very energetic. I'm very bad at hiding my emotions. If someone's doing good, you're gonna see me running around jumping, screaming. So I'm just with the kids. I have my headphones on. I'm listening to hype music. I'm getting excited. I'm cheering the team on, trying to not go too crazy, but trying to keep the energy up. And then right before the race, I'm usually dead silent and I'm locked in, focused on what I need to do to help my team.
Jim, there's your segue. He just gave you teed it up. He's got his hype music on, so
All right. Yeah, Coach, what are you listening to right now? Music, podcasts, audiobooks? Are you reading anything?
So usually podcasts I listen to like when I'm driving because I live in Columbus, so I commute into work. So I'm usually listening to podcasts, listen to you guys, a little bit of everything. I'm big into sports exercise, so I follow some different podcasts talking about that, running podcasts. But music, usually my go-to to get hyped is Fall Out Boy.
What's your favorite Fall Out Boy album?
Probably American Psycho
Okay.
or Save Rock and Roll.
I'm a little bit older than you. I would die saying that their first album, I believe it's Take This to Your Grave, is one of
Yeah,
the best emo albums of all time.
definitely. I've been listening to a bit of that one as well. Right as I got into it is when Save Rock and Roll and American Psycho had just came out, and that's the
All
one that
right.
hooked me. I also am big into the band Set It Off.
All right. I've dabbled and said it all. I'm a huge pop punk guy, huge pop punk guy.
Same. And
Yeah.
so when I was born, because I'm about to be 27, it was right as I was being born with it. But my older sister was huge into it, so from falling into the same taste as my older sister.
Okay. Do you mess with the starting line at all?
I haven't, but I'm definitely gonna check it out.
All right, they have a new album coming out. They're old guys like me, but they still got it. And I'm a big Census Fail guy, Newfound Glory. Um, yeah, but I was also just listening to Fall Out Boy's second album. Again, I'm a little bit of a hipster. I like their older stuff, but yeah, I'm a Fall
Yeah,
Out Boy guy.
definitely. And my team, I've again, I'm only 27. I'm not used to feeling old, but someone then heard my music one day, and I've never felt so old. Of Coach, what is that? Playing music for my kids, and they're like, Coach, I've never heard of this band before.
I got another one for you. Have you heard of Hot Mulligan?
Yes, my sister introduced me to that one.
All right, all right. I'm a fan, Dean. I'm a fan.
Dean, last one to close it out. It's a lighthearted one. Maybe there's something
Yeah.
unique in Columbus. You mentioned the Tim Hortons. Do you have a guilty pleasure?
Probably either. So like, do you mean food wise or just like
It could be
like a hobby?
food. Maybe you like to play golf,
So,
fish. Some people play video
so,
games.
so food wise, it's so I'm being a runner, very basic. I'm huge into pasta, but my the go-to pleasure is I drink way too much soda. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I'm a sucker for Orange Mountain Dew, but
Oh,
and I'm also
Second.
yeah.
but I'm also love playing video games. I'm a huge sports nerd. I'm either whenever I'm home, I'm either if I'm not working, honestly, I am playing a sports game on my Xbox or watching sports. Being in Columbus, me and my girlfriend, we watch a lot of Ohio State. Big soccer fans watching the Columbus Crew. We live about 5 miles from the stadium,
Nice.
cheering them on. Being from Northeast Ohio, huge Guardians and Cavaliers fan.
Do you play FIFA?
Yes,
Who's your team?
the Crew.
Okay, right on. Jimmy knows we had a crew back when we lived in New Jersey. We used to play round robin FIFA for hours on end. But
Yeah.
now that you're in Ohio, you're gonna have to you might have to link up with Coach Mark Delmonico from Tiffin. He's a Mountain Dew fan as well.
Okay. Uh, yeah.
What's your pasta dish of choice?
Alfredo. Plain Alfredo is always a good go-to, but I'm a sucker for shrimp Alfredo.
It's right up your alley, Jim.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yep.
Definitely.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. Really enjoyed this conversation. Like Rich said before, we can't wait to follow the team into conference and beyond and see everything you got going on. And once you guys get a conference title, we'll have you guys back on. Watch you guys in nationals. Can't wait to see what you do with the program.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, Dean, it was great to get to know you, have a conversation. Like Jimmy said, we'll be rooting for you come conference, hoping you get to nationals, and good luck with the rest of your season.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Dean Freitag from Wilberforce University. Make sure you check out those links in the show notes. Go give them a follow. Let them know the Airey Bros sent you. We will be back tomorrow night. We're heading back onto the wrestling mat. We're going to go belly to belly with Coach Mike Derone from Lakeland University in Wisconsin. So we will see you back.